Hello, beautiful world. This is JL August, and I am here to start my Rainbow Day Cafe podcast. And first of all, you might not know what the Rainbow Day Cafe is because I haven't told you yet. So that's part of why I want to do the podcast. I thought about doing YouTube, but I'm like, I don't want to set up the camera, fluff up the hair, do all the things that I would feel like I needed to do. And I thought a podcast would be a great solution for a low maintenance gal who does not want to fluff up in any way. Not that I usually do anyway, but so this is I had the incredible idea of doing a podcast because I did want to track the journey of this musical. I hadn't tracked the journey of my last musical in this way. It's called Gene and the Wonderful Idea Machine. It's a kids musical, and this is my first grown-up musical. And it's called, you might have guessed it, The Rainbow Day Cafe. And this musical is, first of all, my love letter to the Bay Area, to queer cafes, open mic nights, places where I got to discover who I am. I got to discover my queerness. I got to own my lesbianism. I got to feel safe exploring, meeting people, and allowing myself to wave my rainbow flag and live an out life, which is not a luxury in a lot of places, and becoming less and less of a luxury in the United States with a lot of legislation coming out and trying to, stop us from living free lives, getting health care, getting to live safely with our partners, with our friends, even when I lived in the Bay Area, I sometimes felt afraid to hold my girlfriend's hand, So the Rainbow Day Cafe is, first off, like I said, a love letter to the Bay Area, or what I like to call the gay area. And second of all, it is my own story, fictionalized, of surviving and thriving through depression, and having creativity completely, I feel like, saved my life, alongside my journey of personal growth and studying energy and going to the Berkeley Psychic Institute and learning about meditation and psychic readings, and then, finding a hypnotherapist that really gave me an amazing few sessions that really helped me heal. And then I started studying hypnotherapy. And those of you on the healing path, that it's never just one method and one journey. It's just when we are longing to heal, we, will search out almost everything that's out there. And the gift of that, at least for me, was I went from really struggling to finding a lot of not only healing, but places in my life that I could serve with what I've learned. And one of those ways, of course, is through this musical. And the story is about a woman who owns a queer cafe, and she's really struggling to keep it afloat. And she has an awesome mom, like I have an awesome mom, who is very worried about her. And this is a song that comes a little bit later in the musical. And my mom is a therapist, and I joke that my first word was psychosomatic. And I was telling her about writing this musical, and she was actually in my other musical as well. And I'm a big fan of my mom. I think she's an incredible woman. I'm so grateful that I got to be born to her, because she's just, just was always very accepting of me. She actually even said, like, I was always surprised you had boyfriends, because even as a baby, I thought you were gay. Wow, that's awesome. It would have saved me some time if she told me. But you can't just tell someone, oh, by the way, and that's my mom's Chicago accent. Oh, by the way, honey, I don't think you should date the boys. I think that you are a little lesbian, so you go, girl. No, she wasn't like that, but very incredibly supportive of my life, my lifestyle, and her and my partner, Marsha, are like best friends. Like she's just a wonderful human being. And one of the things, unfortunately, that she had to see me through was my suicidal depressions. And the musical is loosely based on my struggles and breakthroughs with depression. And those are the things that I kind of went through more in my 20s. But the character that is kind of playing a version of me in the musical is named Ruby. And, not only is her, and she's in her 50s, she's actually going into her Chiron returns. And in astrology, if you don't know it, there are life cycles where the shit hits the fan around certain different ages. And I discovered astrology when I was in my Saturn returns, which happens in your late 20s. It's kind of like a midlife crisis, but it's not in your midlife. It's just when like the shit hits the fan, things fall apart, so that you can rebuild things from your highest good. And Chiron returns is like that on steroids. It's the wounded healer. And it's a time for us to either heal the things we've been hiding from, or kind of continue down living in that energy. And so the Chiron returns for Ruby and for myself is a really big deal. It kind of, basically is like a big time of destruction and reset, which is why Ruby is having to face a cafe that is failing. And also her depression that she, in the story and in my real life during my 20s, didn't want to treat with drugs, with depression medication, because I, and this character Ruby, who's based on me, I wanted to heal naturally. I wanted to, find something through energy medicine or through, lots of different ways to heal without having to take drugs, because I don't love the pharmaceutical industry. Neither does Ruby. You can see we're very aligned. And I didn't want to need something. And so in this particular experience, and the reason I'm talking about this is not only to tell you about the musical itself, but what Ruby's partner Sloane, loosely based on my precious Marcia, she says, hey babe, like all our friends with these cafes do open mic nights or open mic events. And so, this is a very painful thing for Ruby, because she, lost a record deal because of her depression, or what she believes it was because of her depression, and hasn't picked up her guitar since, after having a really successful music career in the Bay Area years and years ago, before she bought the cafe. So you can see that, Ruby is having to face her depression that has been running her life for years, because she's trying very hard to do everything but be on medication. And She also needs to save her cafe, and then her most wounded space in her life is where the cafe can be saved. That's very Kieran Returns. And so that's where this song that I'm working on is sprouting from, which is a conversation between Ruby's mother, which is Gail. And the reason why she's Gail is because I was sharing this scene that I wrote with my mom, and I gave the character a different name, and my mom has this amazing Chicago accent. She's like, oh, I don't really like that name for my character. I've always wanted to be named Gail. And I was like, Mom, if that's what you want, that's what you got. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to, name this character Gail. So I haven't been able to work on the musical in a while because there's just been so many other things in my entrepreneurial world. I'm a business coach. I'm a hypnotherapist. I help people clear their blocks so their business rocks. There's just, as a manifesting generator, which is a human design type, I'm one of those people that I'm happy having many different projects. So I've been running a monthly musical group and to people to share their music, and I really just haven't been focused on it because I've also been working on a lesbian romantic comedy, which is a book actually. But I told my group that I would have a song ready by tomorrow. And then I got the idea to start the podcast because I wanted to share that, as I'm building it, my musical and the journey, because I believe the work of the art is just as interesting as the art. And that's why I love running these songwriting groups, so that I could learn about people, behind the scenes. It's like the special features on DVDs back in the day. So right now I have worked on the idea of the musical, of the song, and the song is basically going to be, Gail talking to her daughter Ruby, and really, you can tell that they've had this conversation a million times, and Gail is just so worried about her daughter taking her own life because of depression. And they have a close enough relationship where Ruby would call her mom, in times when she felt like she wanted to take her life. And of course, it will mirror my own experience, because I would call my mom and I would say, I don't know why, but I feel like I want to kill myself. I feel so terrible that I don't want to be here, but I still do want to be here. It was like a monster taking over my brain and telling me to just end it, right? And so the song that I'm working on is about, Gail trying to get her daughter into, to get a psychiatrist to see if there's some drugs, pharmaceuticals that could help her. And then Ruby just kind of talking about all the things that she's tried. So to, in the new age healing world, which I believe in all of that. And also I believe there's also a lot of humor that can happen in the song. So I'm just going to literally sing just some of the little concepts and ideas. And it's not done, and I have to work on it to share it with my group, but this is part of the journey. So, one of the things, on my mom's side of the family, we are Jewish, and on my dad's side of the family, we're Catholic. And I heard someone say, oh, I'm a cashew, a Catholic Jew. I wasn't raised religiously, but, my Bubby, who's in my other musical, our character, based on her, in her kitchen, she had one of those 70s, tin little letters that are all, and it said oy vey. So I used to joke, with Bubby, it was oy vey every day, oy vey every day. And so, in the song, I'm going to have this duet, and it might start I don't even know if I'm warmed up, but anyway. Every day, the Gail singing, every day I oive about you. Baby girl, I can't live without you, but there's better living through chemistry. And if you try, you will see. And so that's kind of like there's a theme in there. And I haven't written the parts for Ruby to talk about all the incredibly new age, cool, interesting, and even funny things she's been doing to heal. And at this point, I haven't decided if she's like ready to be like, okay, fine, or if it's just, showing the struggle that she's in. So I haven't made that decision yet. But Gail is like, you you deserve to be happy. You deserve to, I can't remember all the words, but it's like these two musical themes are coming. Do 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 do, and I'm also excited about having this kind of back and forth experience where you can see that Ruby's just like saying like, look, I'm just looking for that thing, and Gail's just like, you've suffered enough, honey, you suffered enough, you deserve. And one of the things that my mom always said to me, because spoiler alert, I did go on meds and it did change my life. And I even want to say to like new age people, and I'm a new age person, or natural medication person, or whatever, people like who want to reach out to me and say there is another way. Bless you, thank you for wanting that for me, but I found something that works, right? And I feel like when I decided I wanted to try meds, my girlfriend at the time was like, natural medicine gave up, and she was like really upset with me. And I think a lot of people probably don't get the care they need because of judgment. So if you're someone that's judging someone, whether they want to do pharmaceuticals or natural, like let people try what they need to try to stay on the planet. That's my public service announcement. So I'm going to be working on this song. I'm going to get a draft of it ready to share with my group, and then I will share it with you. So I hope you enjoy the Rainbow Day Cafe podcast. It's not just about the musical. To me, it's a movement. I want to create open mics all over the place where, rainbow people feel safe expressing themselves. And it's also a place where people can learn how to become active and fight these terrible laws and ways in which, they want to put us back in the closet and not give us, control of our own bodies, healthcare, all this terrible stuff. And so there's going to be kind of an activism part of this musical. But to me, the Rainbow Day Cafe, the concept is like, have a rainbow day. Like it is, I want to be a part of the movement that makes it safe for people to be out and free, waving their rainbow flags and living a life where they get to be themselves. And it's not only safe, it's safe that, there's love and acceptance, and you can't get killed for loving who you love. Yeah, it's intense. It's intense. And my friend and I used to joke, what else is intense? The circus. Like, so let's, feel what's really going on. And also let's use our humor to make it through and to create community and make it a safe world for all to thrive, loving who they love, being who they are. So stay tuned. This is my very first Rainbow Day Cafe podcast. Hope you come back and listen to the journey of me making this musical and launching this movement of open mics and community. And I'm excited to and honored to be called to do this journey. And I'm glad you're here with me as I'm doing it. Bye for now. And I will try to dream these dreams alive.
dreams are inside, I can no longer hide from you.